Let's get to story number 5. Residents of war-torn countries are fed up. This is a real deal story. They are talking about how residents in Syria, places like Iraq, just Ukraine, Yemen, and Mexico, even a neighboring country, Venezuela, these countries where the economy is collapsing, war, it's even happening in France, and people are getting fed up and they're taking it out on government. It's even happening in places in Africa, and a lot of these people are trying to find some place to go. This is, if you actually read a little bit about ISIS, this is actually how some of their tactics got adopted and why a lot of people started to join them because of rebellion. And this story is surfacing because like I'm telling you, people are getting very irritated with the people in charge, and they are tired of war games. There was a story that surfaced last week where I was talking about how people in Iraq are actually regrouping because they don't want the Shia don't want their country to become a battleground. There's a lot of miscommunication that goes on when you're on the end of the country that's dropping the bombs. But when you're in the country that's being that's being bombed, it's a totally different viewpoint. So as the mediator, I've researched on what these people's views are. And when people see bombs being dropped in their country, they don't understand the dynamics that's going on in the rules of war. You have children that grow up to be dictators, and they have strife. They find other friends, these groups, it's like a ball field of people who just rebel, and the next thing you know, they're flying planes into towers. Folks, this is becoming real deal because there has to be something that can calm all this down so we can start building as human beings and building our education and becoming better. Because when you have Mexican president lashing out at the United States president, talking about how the president is turning the U.S. into an anti-immigrant country. Folks, these people are viewing this country totally different now, and they some of them have already made us out to be the enemy, but this is adding more fuel to the fire. There was a Christian who was he's in Iraq. He survived 3 burn. The guy was burned, tried to be burned alive 3 times, and he survived. And he's talking about what it's like. You get some of these stories, and it's very easy to talk about when it's not happening to you. It's very easy to run from. But this is, if we keep sweeping all of this momentum that they're gaining under the rug, these people are trying to they're trying to get nukes. They're starting to regroup. They're developing relationships with other countries. They're trading. You see what happened with China. The fact that they were taking intellectual property and building islands. They're getting prepared for something, if not war. They're building up their military on the expense of other people's ideas. These are real deal stories, folks. But the people inside of these countries are getting fed up. They don't know what to do. They don't have any hope. They don't know who to turn to. So this is becoming real deal. And they were talking about how they're not letting anybody help the migrants at the border. They're talking about people who are getting arrested, and how there's zero tolerance for anybody who helps out migrants. Amnesty International report says that Myanmar military is again committing war crimes. This is real deal stuff, folks. They're talking about drone warfare in Yemen. The Yemen conflict is growing. These people some of these countries are third world countries. The people come in committing genocide, rape. They have no police force. Some people say, well, is it America's problem? But the thing is that if pretty soon these people, they somehow they found out or heard about an America, and they look at the president's tweets, they analyze what we're doing, and this is when you talk about trade and gain and people finding ways to govern. There was a woman, I don't know if anybody has ever read up on Gertrude Bell, but they called her the queen of the desert because she had a lot of knowledge about going in and colonizing certain places. So these stories are really gaining some steam. Another headline about even Russia getting in the conflict. Russia does not think that the United States will win in any peace talks with the Middle East. So and then there's another headline that surfaced about Trump's arms sale to Saudi Arabia. They talking about how that may undermine U.S. values. These stories are surfacing, folks. But story number 5 jumped its way up because people in war-torn countries are fed up and they're tired. Even the humanitarian aides on the ground are tired. But this is a real deal story. You're going to be here with me, Brian Westward. It's my duty every week to give you the top 8 headlines developing news stories. I try to look pretty. I try to clean it up for you. I don't want you to run away from the stories, but I want you to listen and be informed. So if you want to contribute any way, all you have to do is visit www.mbthod8inc.com, methodad.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, or just read something, or just sponsor the program.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The mediator is here.